Hello, so this is the first lesson in the JavaFX, and I want to make the JavaFX as simple as possible. So firstly, I'm creating a class and I extend application. That's the first thing that you've got to do when you are using JavaFX. So you've got to think of this extend applications. Now it's going to be extremely easy. In the main method, all I do is applications.launchArgs. So I can also do that in a try and catch, but here I'm just doing it without a try catch. And then that launch will run the start method. So I must have a start method which I override from my applications class. And I bring in a variable primary stage. So I'm overriding the start method which is in my applications class. So because I'm in applications, this launch args will automatically run my start method. So that's what I've got to have. So I'm always only going to have in main, I'm only going to have this one line that says launch my args. Okay, now what am I going to do in the start method? It's extremely simple. I'm going to do something very, very simple. This is my simple start, the first lesson. Okay, I'm creating a grid pane. Now grid pane is anything that will hold my data. So it's like a table. It's going to have a table layout, and that will have rows and columns, and that is where I'm going to use that table to hold the elements that I want to put onto my stage. So for instance, if I want to create a form, and the form must have a box for, let's say, give my name, take my name and my surname and my email address, etc. So for a member registration login, for instance, all of that will be positioned on this grid pane. Now I can have a whole lot of different type of layouts. So I can have a grid pane or a vertical box or H box. We'll do that later, but for now I'm just working with a grid pane, which is a table type of thing. It's got rows and columns. Now that grid pane, I call it GP. So you can see it's the empty object of the grid pane class, and I use that object. I create a scene. Now I want to think of my FX as creating a scene that I will then display on the screen. So this scene, I put my GP with a size. Now my screen size is 1000 by 600, or it can be any sizes that I would like to have. And I create an object of my scene class with a grid pane and the size for it. And then, so this is the width and the height. So I've got width first and then height, and I've got to put my grid pane or my layout onto it. And then here I'm doing scene.setFill, and I give it a gold color. So you can have any different color there, so there are loads of different colors. So you'll see if I do color and then dot, it should show. And of course, okay, here's all the different colors that I can have, but I'm just going to keep it as gold. And now I use the primary stage, which is the stage object that comes in as a parameter, and I set scene and I put scene, and scene goes onto the stage. Now I set my scene on the stage, and the scene will contain my grid pane. I give it a title, so now my primary stage get a title, sample application, and now I show the stage. Okay, and that's in a try catch. Now when I run it, let's see what happens when I run. So let's wait for it to run. Now this is going to wait forever now. Please. There it is. Okay, this is my stage. You see, it shows my stage, and the stage is just the empty stage, 1000 by 600 with a gold background. And so this is my first example, and we're going to build on this example. This example you can use as like a template, and we're going to build on this. This is what we're going to use for every other application.